All right, 8th graders, this video is going to help you with CR number 31, 2017. I have to be out of the AIS room scoring the state test this week, so I just wanted to make sure I gave you some support on your CR. Let's take a look at number 1. It says the expression 3 to the negative 2 power is equivalent to. Well, what you have to know is you have to know when you have negative exponents, that's a teeny tiny number. We have to rewrite it as a fraction. 1 over, you keep the base of 3, and you take your negative 2, and the exponent becomes a positive 2 once you drop it down to the denominator. And then what you do, so negative exponents, you put 1 over, keep the base, make the exponent positive. So then we have 1 over 3 squared, just means 3 times 3. And that would be 1 over 9. That would be letter D. What they do, the reason they have negatives involved is because some kids get confused and they think negative exponents will be a negative number. It's not true. Negative exponents is just a teeny tiny distance. Let's take a look at the second one. Number 2, it says solve and check. So let's start by solving it. First thing you want to do is get all of your constants, move to one side. All of your variables move to the other side of the equal sign. So I'm just going to go ahead and start by moving this 12. This is minus 12. I'm going to go ahead and add 12 to both sides. I then have 5x equals, by 12's 5x. 10 plus 12 is 22. Then I'm going to subtract 5x on each side. 5x minus 5x, oh, that's 0. 0 equals 22. 0 does not equal 22. There must be no solution. There is no real value that we can substitute in here and make this equation true. So do we have to show a check? No, there's no way to show a check because there's no solution. I hope that helps with number 2. Make sure you can always pause the video review if I'm going too fast. Let's take a look at the number 3. It says sketch a graph of the linear function y plus 2x equals negative 1. Well, if we're trying to sketch a linear function, a straight line, we know we have to put it in the form y equals mx plus b. The coefficient in front of the x will be our slope of our line, and the constant at the end will be our y-intercept. So the first thing I have to do is I have to take y plus 2x equals negative 1, and I have to get y all by itself on one side. I have to put it into the correct form. So what I have to do is I have to move this 2x to the other side. Well, how am I going to move this plus 2x to the other side of the equal sign? I'm going to go ahead and subtract 2x on each side. 2x minus 2x, bye-bye, they zero out. On the left side of the equal sign, I'm left with y. And then I look here on the right side, negative 1 minus 2x. Those are not like terms. This has an x, this is just a constant, so you cannot shove those together. If I look at the form I want it in, I want my x's written first and my constant written second. So I'm going to write my x first, minus 2x gets written first, and then I'll do minus 1 written second. You can't put those together, they're not like terms. We now have this in the correct form in order to be able to graph it. Negative 2 represents our slope, and negative 1 represents our y-intercept. So in order to graph this line, you always are going to start at your y-intercept. It's where your graph will cross the y-axis. And it's going to cross our y-axis at negative 1. So on our y-axis, I'm going to plot 0, negative 1. That's where I'm going to start. The slope tells us where to move. So then I look at the slope. My slope is negative 2. Negative 2 is the same as negative 2 over 1. That says we'll move down 2 and to the right 1. That's what the slope of -2 tells us. Our pattern of points from the y-intercept will move down 2 and to the right 1. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll be at the y-intercept. We'll move down 2 to the right 1, plot a point. Down 2 to the right 1, plot a point. It's important to realize we have to get our pattern of points all the way across the grid. So if we're moving down 2 to the right 1, to get additional points moving up into this quadrant, we want to move up 2, but now to the left 1. Down and to the right is the same as up and to the left. So from our y-intercept, we're going to move up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1, up 2, left 1. And I like to get a pattern of points all the way across the grid. Now, I don't have a straight edge, so my line is going to be absolutely horrendous. Oh my God, use a straight edge. Oh my God, my line is awful. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. Oh well. I'm going to put arrows at both ends. We're going to pretend my line is a beautiful straight line through those points. And then I'm just going to say I drew the graph y equals -2x minus 1. Or you could have labeled it back with the original. So we just went ahead and sketched that beautiful graph, but all of this work should be shown because you have to put it in the correct form. All right, hopefully that helped with 3. Let's move on to number 4. For number 4, your teacher just wants you to evaluate this algebraic expression, x squared plus y squared, if teacher tells you that x is -4 and y is a +3. So in order to evaluate this, in place of x, we're going to put a -4 squared. Please make sure your -4 is within parentheses, your squared is on the outside. Plus y squared would be 3 squared. Okay, -4 squared, what does that mean? -4, so literally I plug -4 in place of x, plug 3 in place of y, and now I simplify it. -4 squared means -4 times -4. Keep my addition sign. 3 squared means 3 times 3. Negative times a negative is a positive. 4 times 4 is 16. Keep my plus sign. 3 times 3 is 9. 16 plus 9 is 25. That would be simplifying that expression, evaluating it, getting a value. All right, hopefully that helps. Let's move on to 5. Again, please feel free to pause the video, rewind, rewatch. Let's take a look at number 5. A test is worth 100 points. 4 points are taken off for every incorrect response, okay? Write a function rule. A function rule is just an equation. So all your teacher means by function rule, they want an equation to determine the test score y of a student. Use x for the number of incorrect responses. Okay, so we know x equals number of incorrect responses. Y equals the test score. Well, you start with a 100-point test. Then you're going to take off however many points you lose for incorrect responses. Well, each time you have an incorrect response, you lose 4 points. So if x is your number of incorrect responses, each of those is worth 4 points. 4 times x will give you the amount of points you need to take off. Like, for example, if you miss 5 questions on the test, each one is worth 4 points. So if you miss 5 questions, each question is worth 4 points. 4 times 5 is 20. That would be the x, the number of questions missed. If you miss now a total of 20 points, you would just do 100 minus 20 and you'd score an 80 on that test. If you missed 5 questions and each of those questions were worth 4 points. So you just take your total of 100, subtract off the amount you have to, 4 times the number of incorrect responses will give you the value you have to deduct. And at the end of the day, that gives you your test score. So y will equal 100 minus 4 times x. That's all that your teacher's looking for. Take your total, subtract off however many points you lose out on, and get your test score. Let's move on. What value of x is the solution to the following equation? They just want us to solve this equation. All right, so if I look at this equation, my first step, I personally would distribute the 2. More than one way to go about this problem, but I would start by distributing the 2. So we'd have negative 3x plus 4 equals 2 times 4x is 8x minus 2 times 8 is 16. Keep my minus 12x. Then I look on this side and I say, oh, I can combine some like terms. I can combine 8x minus 12x. 8x minus 12x would be negative 4x. We still have the minus 16. On the left-hand side, we have negative 3x plus 4. Now we're going to move all of our constants to one side, all of our x's to the other side. So I'm going to start by moving this 4. If it's plus 4, I simply subtract 4 on the left-hand side. If I'm subtracting 4 on the left-hand side of the equal sign, I also have to subtract 4 from the 16 on the right-hand side. So on the left, I have negative 3x equals, on the right-hand side of the equal sign, we have negative 4x. Negative 16 minus 4 would be negative 20 or minus 20. So I distribute it. I combine like terms, and now I'm moving all my constants to the right. I'm going to move all my variables to the left. So how do I move minus 4x to the other side? Minus 4x, opposite operation would be to add 4x. If I'm adding 4x on the right-hand side, I better add 4x on the left-hand side. Negative 3x plus 4x would be positive 1x equals negative 20. So x is negative 20. Of course, if you need to divide both sides by 1, but x will be negative 20. I can substitute back in to show a check. I'm just going to quick check to be sure I'm right. Negative 3x plus 4 equals 2 within parentheses, 4 times x minus 8 minus 12x. Okay, so in place of x, I'm just going to put a negative 20. Negative 3 times negative 20 plus 4 equals 2, and then in parentheses, 4 times negative 20 minus 8, close the parenthesis, minus 12 times negative 20. I'm just going to simplify. Negative 3 times 20 is negative 60 plus 4. Negative 60 plus 4 is a negative 56. So my hope is, oops, sorry, let me go back to the other slide. My bad. So my hope is once I simplify this entire side, I'm also going to get negative 56. Let me work within parentheses first. 4 times negative 20 is negative 80 minus 8 minus 12 times negative 20. Okay. Within parentheses, I then have negative 80 minus 8 is negative 88 minus 12 times 20, negative 20. 2 times 88, oh gosh, 88 times 2. 8 times 2 is 16. 2 times 8 is 16, 17, 176, okay. Negative 176, negative times a negative is a positive. 12 times 20 would be a positive 240. So now I have to take 240. I did something wrong here. I made a mistake. 80, negative 88, negative 176. Negative times a negative is a positive 240. I did something wrong. Oh, it's a negative 20. I'm so sorry. Negative 3 times negative 20 is a positive 60. Positive 60 plus 4 is a positive 64. I knew, I think I did the work right, so my check better work. Sorry, negative times negative is positive. Positive 64 on this side. 240 minus 176. I'm trying to go quick. My video is going to end in a second. 10 minus 6 is 4. 13 minus 7 is 6. Woo! 64 equals 64.